Hello? Hello, I don't hear me. I don't hear. Hello, I don't hear me. I don't hear it. I don't hear it. Hear it. Now I 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 hear it. I can hear it now. I can hear it now. Now I hear it. I can hear it. Okay, we're ready? Are we ready? Who's ready? You ready? I got my producer over there ready. Invisible producer, are you ready? Are we starting? Get the wire away from my shoulder. Are we starting? Okay, we're going to start. Do I do the count? Do I do the 1, 2, 3? Okay, 1, 2, 3. What's up? Welcome to the Takeover. And that's the beginning of the show. That's the beginning of the show, and that's how it started. And we're off to a great start. I itched my nose already. Bad habits. What are you going to do? So I started the show, and I'm doing the show, and the show's going great so far. And coffee's about to kick in. Coffee's kicking in. Coffee's kicking in. Someone one time commented, get a bigger mug, like being sarcastic. Whatever, dude. They're fucking mugs. Who cares? You're going to make fun of my mug? Wow. Okay, here's the deal. The show started, and I'm hungry. Now, this is my first time ever doing an episode where I'm hungry. Usually, I'm just good. I'm just good to go. I'm just ready to go. And, I'm just living it up. And now I'm hungry, and all I'm doing is thinking about food. And my stomach's going to be a little empty, and the coffee's going to kick in strong. And, here we are. We're here, and it's, what a week, guys. What a week. Could we say that? Could we say that again? What a week. For sure. For everybody. All over the world. It's Riot Week in LA. So that's what's going on. It's Riot Week in LA. And just when things were starting to open back up, they are closed. Everything's boarded up. It's been fucking insane. So, I mean, we got a bunch of things that we're going to do. But how are we doing today? How are you doing today? I'm asking you, how are you? How are you doing today? How are you? How are we doing today? How are you doing today? How are you? You're doing good. I was going to do the episode earlier today, but there were so many helicopters in the sky, I couldn't do it. It was going to be too loud. You would have heard it. Like, remember a couple episodes ago when somebody was doing a graduation birthday party out front and I got mad? Similar situation, very loud, knew that it would pick up the helicopter signs. So what did I do? Went on with my day. What was that? Continuing the process. Trust the process. That 30-day mentality. Do everything the exact same way for 30 days. Let's see who comes out on top. Probably me. That's all I'm saying. But let's get back on focusing. Let's breathe. Hold on. Everybody take a breath. Now, isn't that feel better? That does feel better. How are we doing now? We're doing good. Everybody's doing good. Everybody calm down. Everything's fine. Okay? Everything's fine. Everything is not fine. Here we are again in another situation where I'm telling us we're fine and we're not fine. It's a disaster. Okay? It's a fucking disaster, dude. It's a fucking disaster. I feel like every generation always gets to say this. The country's going to shit. Isn't that fun? The country can't be going to shit, right? It really can't be going to shit because, it was even shittier before. So you have to think about it like that. It's definitely better than what it was. Could we agree on that? Could we agree it's better than what it was? For sure it's better. And if people are like, no, I don't remember it like this when I was growing up. People didn't have cameras. Imagine how worse it was in the 90s and in the 80s. Today is definitely better than every previous day. I think that's just a fact of life. So that's one way to look at things, okay? Outside of that, it is scary. You wouldn't think that we would be living in a time like this, and that's unfortunate. You know what? We'll go into the first thing that was bothering me. Here's the thing. I'm gonna start off by saying this right now. No matter what your political beliefs are, I don't give a fuck. I like that you listen to me. That's awesome. I don't really care, and I know that some of you who aren't Trump supporters might disagree with me, but if somebody who does listen to my podcast and they are a Trump supporter, I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, go fuck yourself. Don't, like, I jokingly said that before, like on my old podcast, Guys Night Out, or jokingly was like, oh, you're Trump, leave now. Or like, I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, go fuck yourself. That, you have every right to do that. That's fine. And we can all agree, we can all agree on a lot of similarities, especially with what's going on tonight in the world. Like we all agree that the police brutality, none of that should be happening. I feel like you would have to agree that wouldn't have happened to George Floyd. Hold on. Okay, anyways, so let's get back to that. We could all agree that wouldn't have happened if he was white. I feel like that we could say that. We could all agree on that. And if you don't agree, that's fine. But there is a problem with that situation. I understand other people now are getting upset about looters and the protests, and they're frustrating because it's scary and they don't want it to happen. Some people are like, come on, can we move on from the protest? And I guess that's fine that you believe that. Again, I'm not educated on a lot of things. So this is just me speaking freely. And I don't know if I'm right. I don't know if I'm wrong. I'm just sharing observations. My whole thing is, let's just discuss it and not get mad and not want to like kill each other when it comes to political shit like this. Again, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I'm just sharing my opinion, and I don't know. I only know what I know through observations. Again, I don't study it, so like I could be persuaded to agree with something else. Is my point. It's like sometimes I'll believe something. I'll be like, oh yeah, that is true. I'll say like, yeah, that's true. And then somebody will be like, yeah, but this. And then I'll be like, oh, that is true. You know what I mean? Like I don't fucking know for sure. But one thing I do know, and the whole point of bringing this up is like, I'll go on Facebook, and I don't go on Facebook a lot. Like I'll spend some time on Twitter. Twitter I feel like is good for news. I mean, as opposed to watching news isn't good in general. You never know what you're getting. There's so much fucking bullshit out there. But I like to like pick up on shit from Twitter. Instagram I use. Facebook I don't really go on there. I try not to accept friends. I try to clear it out so it's just like family and friends. But I feel like Facebook you'll see the most ignorant shit, or maybe it's not ignorant. It's just you'll see the most about what other people believe and preach. That's what it's become. It's what everybody wants to share their voice, which is fine. Everybody has a voice to share. But I think, I truly believe that, by the way, up to this point, I feel like if an adult was listening to me, they'd be like, what the hell is he talking about? Anyways, my belief on Facebook is, or anything, if something's going on and you don't have anything to add that will help the situation, then why fuel it with negativity? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but here's the point. I go on Facebook, and a buddy I was roommates with in college, but we're great friends in high school, great friends in college, even after college. And then he kind of fell out of our circle. There was like a group of 5 of us. Now there's just like, there's a group of 6 of us. Now there's 5 of us. He's kind of on the outskirts of it because he was a little odd. Like he was just like, he drifted away. I don't know how to explain it, but he's definitely the odd apple out of everyone now that we're in our mid-30s. I go on Facebook, and I still love him, and I remember all the memories we have, and I care about him. But I go on Facebook, and with everything that's going on in the world, he's got a post that says Blue Lives Matter, shit like that. Just like it's not even anti shit. It's just like, what's the fucking point of posting that? Like, why are we doing that right now? That's fine if he believes that. But like, why right now? Post that a fucking month ago or something. Right now, there's protests and there's people people upset about what happened to George Floyd, and this is a bigger thing right now, and then you want to come in and just disrupt it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about shit like that. Like, it's not necessary. It's the same to me. It's the same as like when Kobe died. There were some people who, not a lot, but there would be people who'd be like, well, he was a rapist. Fine. Whether or not that's true or you believe it, now's not the fucking time. Now's not the fucking time. Why now? Why fucking create more? There's no way this is going to help. That's fine. Because and then you could be like, well, they should have the right to bring that up. That's fine too. They should have the right. But bringing it up is not going to help your case. You're not going to get your voice across. First of all, here's the problem with everyone in this world is they want to change everyone's mind. Here's what you have to know going in. You're not going to change anyone's mind. If they're posting about it or they're writing about it, they believe that. And that's that. When have you ever been in an argument when it comes to political shit and then someone's been like, you know what, you're right, you changed my mind? That's never happened. That's never happened, and it just won't. It won't. It would have to happen over time. It would take a long time to fucking eventually change someone. But another 35-year-old, maybe a 21-year-old, but at that point, like, I didn't give a fuck about this shit, and I still barely do. But now this shit's like, I definitely have an opinion on certain things. But, like, you're not going to fucking change someone's mind. Like, so, like, why stir the pot up? That's my whole thing. Why make people angry? It's not, there's no way him putting up the post, he's saying, like, hey, he could be like, I support police, but, like, you know you're going to start fucking shit. So my whole thing is, like, why that then? Why do that? There's a, like, you can't take a back seat for a second? For all of this? You can't take a back seat? That's all I'm saying. During the Kobe thing, when he died, there were a couple things. There were a couple reporters who put out, like, well, let's not forget about his rape trial. And then there was obviously the Ari Shafir thing. I was just like, who the fuck? Why? Why? Bring it up now. What's the difference? If you bring it up now, way less hostile. If one of those reporters or Ari's fucking thing, if he literally believed that and he wasn't just doing it to fucking cause chaos, and he really fucking believed, if you talked about that now, like you just had an episode on your podcast, or you're a reporter and you're like, hey, just so you know, it's been a few months, but after his death, that was a horrific thing that happened. Here's what I do want people to know. And then you put it out. That would be a more mature and better time to do it. You're not going to get your point across doing it in the moment, is what I'm trying to say. You can be for Police Lives Matter, but this wasn't, all of this shit going on wasn't because there were fucking a bunch of cops who got targeted and shot up and shit because they were just doing their job. That's not what this was even a fucking about. Of course they matter. Every life fucking matters. The point is, there isn't a video of a cop being choked out by somebody to death. So just hold off on that for a second. You could believe, and if you disagree with the protest, if for whatever reason you're like, I don't agree with protesting, I think it's stupid, you're allowed to voice that. But you wouldn't go ahead and be like, man, this protesting, like, you would have to fucking understand, if you were able to, like, put an intelligent answer of, like, here's why people are protesting, and that's okay. But what's not cool is I don't even know. I'm fucking confusing myself. And that's what happens when the coffee kicks in. Listen, I was mad, and I went at him on Facebook, and I just wrote a couple things. And I go, this isn't really what this is about. You're missing the whole point. I go, also, I was more upset because he grew up where I'm from, Coral Springs, Florida. Bro, you didn't have a fucking bad life. When we grew up, we had families like Kyle's family, like last episode. Dude, I didn't think racism was a thing. We had black people in my school. We had a lot of Hispanics in South Florida. But the minorities, it wasn't equal. It was like there was definitely, I would say there was probably 60% white, 30% Hispanics. Nah, maybe 40% white people, 20 to 30% Hispanic, and then the rest, like, you know, maybe black people. But it wasn't like everything was fine where I grew up. Like, it's South Florida. It's pretty diverse. It was like you never thought that anybody was being mistreated. You also didn't have the internet. You didn't have videos. So that's how I grew up. Then I go to college, and at FSU, you're just fucking partying. You think life is great. And then after college, you think life is great. It wasn't until I moved to LA in 2010 that I was like, I was more exposed to the world and was like, oh shit, there's actually like a lot of issues. So most people, I think, grew up like that from my generation. Until there was like the internet, you thought things were fine if you grew up in the suburbs. So when this guy's coming out causing fucking bullshit for a post, like my whole thing is like, why are you even doing this, dude? You had a fucking great life. I saw the house you grew up in. You got to have a boat growing up. You fucking had a car at 16. Nothing was bad. So why do you want to cause bullshit? What? Even if you disagreed with the fucking protest, why, hey, let me put up a fucking Blue Lives Matter thing right now. Why? Why? I don't understand that. And I'm not saying he doesn't have the right to do it, but like, choose your battle. Why now? That's what's so stupid to me. That's what's you don't have to fucking agree with anything. But, like, choose when to do it. Like, and then I know that listen, again, I know there's a fucking case for every side of an argument. And that's the way it should be. But then talk to me about it and, like, let me understand why you're doing that. I just don't think you're going to convince me that there's a good enough time. I think you should have those rights, but just keep it to yourself for the time being. This isn't a time where that needs to be expressed. There's so many other times. It's like, bro, it's just fucking... It's so weird to like do that right now. Even the looting, bro. Even the shit with the looting. Like, I was watching, what was his name? And I'm obviously not a Republican, okay? And again, I hope that doesn't make you not want to listen to me. Who cares? I mean, dude, I'll watch Fox sometimes just because I want to hear that side of the story. And it's like I'm seeing these fucking protests out here. And the looting is not the protesters. I'm telling you from my observation and what I've seen, it's not. It's not. So you do have some news outlets like Fox. I watched it. I watched the fucking news last night. I watched the guy. What was his name? Fuck. I just followed him on Twitter because I was so fascinated with him. But he was like going in on it about, he's like, this is not the way to protest. I'm telling you, they're not the protesters. There are the protesters, but then there are these fucking people who just want to destroy shit. I watched it out here in LA. Not to mention, a lot of them are teenagers. If I was fucking 18, I would be fucking going up in there throwing bricks and shit. Like, dude, we threw eggs at cars when I was growing up. We put strings. We would grow up in my neighborhood. We thought it was silly. When we were like 15, we would put like a bunch of trash cans in the middle of the road and then hide in the tree and watch cars either slam into them in a neighborhood road. So they're going 25, 30 miles per hour. Either slam into them or they would see it, stop, slam the brakes on and move them, which would make us laugh even more. We would be giggling and it was such a funny time. And sure, looking back at it, it's like, fucking punk kids. I wouldn't change anything about it. That's what kids do. All right. We weren't bad. We just wanted to fool around. We didn't want anyone to get hurt. We were just being silly. Put trash cans and just do little roadblocks and then hide and giggle and watch people get out. So like we would do shit like that. There was times when we took a wrench and we opened up a fire extinguisher in the back of a shopping center and flooded it all up. And then my neighbor, who was a Broward sheriff, knew it was us and came to my door and he was like, you got fucking 5 minutes to fucking close that up or I'll send you to jail. There was another time we'd throw stink bombs in the middle of like a store and shopping centers, throw eggs at cars sometimes just to like, or water balloons. We'd do water balloons at cars just in our neighborhood, not like on a fucking main road, but like that's some punk shit. So like if I was 18 or 16 and there was huge riots in the fucking streets of where I grew up and I saw like a broken window, I'd be, yo, we would probably would have done it. And I'm not a bad guy. And I'm not saying all these people looting are bad people, but I've seen a lot of the videos. Some of them are young people or young teenagers. They're also not the people out there who are like, I'm doing this for fucking, they're not it's looting for George. They're not fucking going out there. That's not what they're doing, man. Majority of the protesters are trying to be peaceful. Then there's these activists that are fucking destroying shit because they know dude, these people who are doing it are pros. They're not just like walking up and breaking a window. I watched a MedMen get fucking ransacked. I pulled up. I was driving by on Robertson in Beverly Hills. I fucking saw it late at night on Saturday. I slow down and I'm like, oh my God, I could literally just go in there. And I wasn't gonna because I know I'd get caught. But I was gonna maybe I was like, oh, let me maybe say something to one of the guys like, throw me some weed, as a joke. But then I see another car pull up, slam its brake on, doesn't even pull over, just in the middle of the road. 4 guys jump out, pop the trunk, grab bags. They run in. These guys were fucking pros. They knew what they were doing. And I was just like, holy shit, if I get in any of their ways, they could shoot me. I swear to God, I thought that. I go, these motherfuckers could just shoot me. These guys looting are not just fucking people who are like great. Like, they've done it before. They know what they're doing. It's not about the fucking protest. They just know that there's a time when you could take advantage and fucking loot. This isn't the only time looting happens. It happens, dude. They know when there's protest. They're like, yo, let's get a gang of us. We know what we can do. They know what they're doing. They're not a part of the fucking protest. They just know how to attack a protest. That's what I'm telling you. There's all these fucking videos of people laying bricks down in fucking Dallas or DC. There's these groups. They know what they're fucking doing, bro. That's all I'm saying. Again, I don't know a lot, but I'm saying if you're one of those people who's like, we all want the protest to end, but there's a fucking bigger issue. Just fucking arrest the guys. Arrest the guys, and then this is all over. Why is it so hard to do that? And then we can all move on. Okay? That's the other thing, okay? So then if you are one of those people who's, oh, wow, coffee's kicking in. And if you are one of those people who's like, okay, I don't want, like, I hate this protest. This is disgusting what's happening to America, the looting. Of course. We all hate it. Nobody likes the looting. Nobody's sitting here like, you think I like driving home and seeing everything boarded up and spray painted? No, it fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. But so does what's happening with fucking police brutality. That sucks too, man. That fucking sucks even more. Okay? This is going to get washed up and the windows will get fixed and everyone's business will be back. But like George Floyd won't. Or all the other people who've been killed. So, like, that sucks even more. So, I can understand the protest, but even if you didn't and you hated it all and you want to just move on from it, wouldn't it just seem smart to be like, okay, I hate it. I could talk about hating it and how I don't think it's right. I agree with that. But then you can even express that. But then carry on with your day. Why would you ignite the fire? Why would you then throw up, hey, by the way, Blue Lives Matter right now? It's just fucking moronic, is what I'm saying. I think that was the whole point I was making. It sucks, man. It's funny, too, because you'll, like, grow up with someone, and you'll love them, and you have memories. Like, my first time taking mushrooms was with him. Like, we've done a lot of fun things, went on cool trips. But then, like, you be 20 years later, you're like, I don't even want to, like, see that person. Isn't that weird that we're all like that? No one's, dude, I've never met someone that's like, oh, yeah, I disagree with him, but, you know, I can't wait to go get lunch with him. I wish I could do that. That's so hard. I mean, listen, dude, here's the bottom line is you're always going to disagree with someone about something. That's just the way the fucking world is. Everything. I disagree. I get in disagreements with friends every single day. Nah, I don't think so. I don't like that car. You like that car? Yeah, I like that car. I think it's stupid. Okay. Oh, you're just saying that, and then someone says something about your fucking hair or something. Dude, we disagree with everything all the time. So you actually could understand why people get so mad about certain issues. Because think about it, man. You're always going to fucking disagree with people. So the best way to be about it is just ask questions calmly. You got to calmly ask questions. Hey, why? But let me ask you something. Here's how you do it. Someone says something you disagree with. You go, let me ask you something. Why is that? Well, because of this. Oh, why? Where did you hear that? I'm just trying to learn. If you act like you're trying to learn, it's a great way to argue. You'll win every time. If you ask questions, you'll win an argument every time. It's impossible. You'll go undefeated. If you just ask questions. And I'm telling you this, reminding myself, because I learned that a long time ago, and it's very hard to do. But it's true. If you disagree with someone very strongly, if you disagree with them, if you start asking them questions calmly, and then those answers inspire other questions, you keep asking questions, you'll win. Because one, you might understand what they're saying, but then two, they might start hear themselves saying, they'll hear themselves talk, and then they might actually go, oh, wait a minute. They might learn something. Not that you're right or wrong, but you both will learn something. Wow. Is this being recorded? I feel like that was a good sentence. I don't know, man. Well, you know, Well, I don't know. I'm even thinking about that right now. I'm like, did any of that make sense? There's always conspiracies too, and I'm not a big conspiracy guy. Like, if I ever went into it, you know what? Maybe I'll go into some shit like on my Patreon. If you want, check out my Patreon. I'll put up Patreon episodes. That's where some shit on my Patreon. I'll try shit out like that. Like, that's what I'm definitely gonna talk about this week on the Patreon. Is like some of the conspiracy shit. Some of it is like, okay. There was even conspiracies about the blackout post, the Blackout Tuesdays post. People are like, well, so crazy how there's a lot of protests going on today, and everyone's posting this Blackout Tuesday thing. So convenient for the cops. I wonder who's. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. So you think the Blackout Tuesday thing is so that nobody will post about what's really happening in the world so they could do some shit? People will still videotape what... Hey, man, when somebody's out there, they're still going to be holding up their phone. They'll post it fucking Wednesday. It's still going to be there. What are you fucking talking about? What are you fucking talking about with that one? How convenient. We're not going to be posting anything? That's whoever is tweeting has that voice. Oh, how convenient. We're not going to be posting Blackout Tuesday when there's all these protests. How convenient for the cops. I wonder who really set this protest up on social media. Hey, hello. That doesn't mean fucking people aren't going to still walk around with their cameras. They'll still post it if they have something fucking crazy. And it's covered. Then the people are like, it's ruining the feed. People were using the hashtag for information. No, they fucking weren't. If you were fucking looking on Instagram for some sort of information to fucking hashtag, learn your lesson. Screenshot something. Screenshot it. How about that? Screenshot it. Take the hashtag. Fine. Take the hashtag away. You could delete the hashtag. That will fix it. You know how many hashtags for fucking Black Lives Matter have been going on forever? You still would have fucking had to scroll regardless. That was another one. People were like, I don't know. You're not supposed to post the black square. It's not. Shut the fuck up. That one's so stupid. People don't even think, bro. We're all sheep. I'm fucking one too. I posted the black square and then I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to? Like, I fucking fell for it too. But I still kept it up because then I was like, I didn't hashtag Black Lives Matter, so it's not fucking feeding the Black Lives Matter hashtag. But still, then I was like, that's so stupid. People would just scroll down anyways, and people have been posting thousands of posts every day under that hashtag. So what is it fucking... They would still, if they were looking for some information, who wouldn't just screenshot that information so they would have it if it was that important to them? That's all I'm saying. And then here's another one, and I talked about it a little bit with the protests, is that there's these activists, there's these big leftist or like maybe white supremacists that are leaving these bricks in different cities, or like if you watch some of the videos from the first people that started fucking spray painting the cop cars and breaking the windows and lighting them on fire, for sure are pros. Like, if you watch the video, like, they obviously knew they were going to do it because they had all the fucking lighter fluid with them and shit. Like, most of everyone I know, which is everybody in LA, I know everybody in LA, and everybody who was out there protesting was just like, no, I'm going to go walk out there. Like, nobody had a backpack full of shit. They weren't like, okay, we're going to fuck this city up. You know what I mean? Like, if you're thinking, we're going to fuck this city up, you're not a part of the fucking protest. You're just like, oh, you're a degenerate who's like, okay, this is our time where we could fuck shit up. It's not about fucking George Floyd at that point. That's happening all over the country. So that's why some people think that this could be like these anarchists or some shit. And it is interesting because when you watch them, and like when I watched the fucking MedMen get ransacked, it's like these guys knew what they were doing. This isn't people who are just like, oh shit, there's no cops, let's fucking loot. It's not people just waking up that day who would go, well, I didn't think I was going to loot, but then I saw everybody doing it. It's not like it, dude. It's not like that. The fucking people who were spray painting and catching cars on fires, they knew what they were doing. They've done it before. That's that. I don't know, man. Well, now we're done. We're done with... No, we're not. I got one more fucking thing to talk about on this. One more thing to talk about, and then we'll move on, and we'll get a little sillier, okay? Bear with me. Bear with me, and I appreciate you bearing with me. Hey, Wade, how you doing? Hey, Blaze, how you guys doing? Roof. Okay. Then there's people fucking posting like Black Life Matters, like trying to like voice. I don't know, man. You had to have seen it. There's the comics are doing it. Like, listen, I posted Black Square, but like, I don't feel comfortable putting up a video and like, because again, like, who am I to fucking express? What, you know what I mean? Like, dude, there's some videos that are just outrageous. Okay, there's a video that got sent around. Maybe you guys have seen it, of a girl who does. I had to write it down because I had never heard of it. It's called interpretive dancing. Do you know what that is? If you don't know what interpretive dancing is, look it up. Okay, I just learned what the phrase was today. But so there's this video of a girl and she's like, I'm gonna do an interpretive dance for George Floyd. Okay, and then she looks in the camera and she starts fucking crying and dude, it's like a 4-minute video. And then she's doing these dances and shit, and then like acting out like police brutality and shit. And it's just cringe, okay? It's so cringe and fucking ridiculous and hilarious. It's just like, who the fuck is? Why do you? I just. I don't even know what to say. Just fucking put a black square up. I can't believe that someone's like, this is what has to be done. I have to show my talents for me to like, I don't know. Just shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Who the fuck are you? Like, you got to see this. If you DM me, ask me for the video, I'll fucking try to find it and send it to you. But I mean, like, dude, it would be like if I fucking posted a video on Instagram and I was like, hey guys, Black Lives Matter. What's happening in this world is that you'd be like, shut the fuck up, you fucking dumb comedian 35-year-old who farts. And I would be like, you're right. I don't have expertise in anything. I just have an opinion. And I'll support that opinion, you know? I mean, maybe I'm hating on these people for doing it, but it's fucking a little ridiculous. It's like a white girl in Connecticut in a nice 3-story house in her little dance studio upstairs, and she's doing an interpretive dance. So I didn't know what an interpretive dance was until yesterday. But when I saw the video, I go, this is the second time I've seen something like this. The first time I saw something like this, I went to church camp with Kyle, whose family I talked about last week. Okay, I went to church camp with Kyle one year, and it was like in North Carolina. And we would go to these church camps because these church communities would have camps all the time, like in the Carolinas or something. Because you know, it was a good summer camp. Because I don't know how much it was, but like you would go and you could go whitewater rafting or hiking, and they'd have a lake with a rope swing and like, you know, all this cool shit you would do, and you meet fucking kids from all over the country, right? So we went and it was like in South Carolina or North Carolina. I don't know which one. Okay. And we're at this camp, and it's a church camp, and you don't have to do too much churchy shit. It's just organized by them. But like the last night, there's like some big church ceremony, and like every day you have to like fucking pray before you eat. But I was just like, it wasn't my church. It was Kyle's church, but they set it up. So we went with them, and I was just like, who gives a they didn't care as long as you're fucking getting your money. So we're at this camp, and we're having a good time, and it's towards the end of the week. It's a week long, and I didn't pay attention a lot in school too, because I was fooling around. And this night, we're having a big dinner, and people talk all the time. There's always grown-ups talking, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I just want to play. And they must have explained what was about to happen, and for whatever reason, I wasn't paying attention because I was just off in my imagination. You know, who knows what I was thinking. So this guy comes in, and he's going to do an interpretive dance, okay? At the time, I didn't know what the fuck that was, and I still didn't even know. I just remember that moment of being so embarrassed, okay? So this guy comes in, and he's going to do the interpretive dance of Jesus dying on the cross and carrying the cross to where he was finally led to die on the cross, and how he was stoned on the way there carrying it, and his hands were nailed, all that bullshit, okay? So that's happening. And he starts coming and dancing. I just look up. They start playing music, and this guy's doing this dance. And I'm watching him, and I'm going, well, this isn't normal dancing. This is a little silly. He looks silly. Didn't know what anybody was talking about before. So I start seeing it, and I'm like, this is funny. Well, I'm fucking 10. The way he's dancing is ridiculous, and it's funny. So I'm laughing, not loud, Like I'm just like like people around me like look back and they look at me and I'm like, it's funny, you know? Maybe 2 minutes in of laughing, I realize, I don't know how I realized, if it was because I was looking at the other kids and how some of them were starting to tear up, but I realized he's doing Jesus and he's reenacting Jesus being like killed. And that's what was going on. I picked up on the energy in the room, linked. And then I immediately was like, oh, fuck. Everybody's going to think I'm a psychopath and I'm a fucking piece of shit. Because I was laughing. Because I was like, ha, what he's doing is funny. It's okay, Michael. What are we going to do to fix this? I flipped it. I immediately start crying. Now, they're probably going, well, that's just how he deals with pain. I was just laughing so that I wouldn't cry. Because now I'm bawling. How did you bawl so quickly? Well, my aunt died a couple years earlier. I just started thinking about my aunt. She was the first time I ever experienced death. So I started crying heavily. One of the most. Like out of like the 6, there were 6 kids who cried. And after he finished, people were like, we'll consult him. I'm bawling because I felt guilty. So I started thinking about my aunt and started bawling. And then they're like, it's going to be all right. And I was just like, man, it's really sad. And I fucking manipulated them at 10 or 11 years old. That's all I know. Maybe 12. Maybe I was older. But I was just like, fuck this, man. First of all, these guys are weird. And they didn't think that they thought every single kid in here was paying attention. How was I supposed to know he was going to fucking do that? They should have warned us and been like, hey, guys, by the way, if you weren't listening to me, don't laugh at what you're about to see. I mean, they should have known that he was going to look ridiculous dancing. Like, he was doing some weird fucking shit. So I fucking started crying so I didn't look so guilty. And that saved me. But then I remember I told Kyle, I was like, by the way, I fucking cried because I was laughing because I didn't know what was going on because I didn't know they said that. He goes, yeah, you didn't hear them say that? I was like, I didn't pay attention. It was like a little fucking Seinfeld moment when we were 12. But then I see this girl doing it fucking 25 years later, 24 years later, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck you interpretive dancers. Just dance. Be a ballerina, tap dance, be a fucking dope dancer like that guy from France. Or like a lot of guys. I follow them on Instagram. It's fucking entertaining. They're really good and talented. Do that. Don't fucking, okay. Go do an interpretive dance of Forrest Gump or some shit. That would be fun, I guess. Maybe I'll watch it, but like just fuck you. So that's the last part of the interpretive dance part that I guess had something to do with the George Floyd. Okay, so last week I wanted to tell you guys about this. I went to pre-first. Remember last week I was like, I went to pre-first. So pre-first, growing up, okay, maybe I'll do a little motivational music right now. Let's put some music on for the pre-first situation. So pre-first, to explain to you, when I grew up, which isn't around anymore, I went to pre-first. Now pre-first, when you're growing up, okay, there was kindergarten, and then, first of all, there's preschool. Everybody knows what preschool is. And then you have kindergarten, right? And then you have first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way up to 12. But in the 80s, they had a program called pre-first. So it was in between kindergarten and first grade. And every time I say that to people when I was growing up, they'd be like, oh, so you failed kindergarten. No, I didn't fucking fail kindergarten, okay? It was more about if you had a late birthday in kindergarten, because my birthday's June, so I had a late birthday, so I was the youngest in my class. Because birthdays is how you would get into school, like what age they would want you to school. I was very at the end. So if you had a very late birthday in June, you could flip it and they would put you in pre-first where you would kind of learn more than you did in kindergarten. I guess I did fail kindergarten. Holy shit. No, I didn't. You can't fail kindergarten. You're not really learning anything. It was more about being very immature and wild. I was very hyper and just liked to fool around. And they said, well, maybe he should try this program called Pre-First. It obviously wasn't a success because Pre-First eventually was eliminated. But I think what Pre-First was, if I have to really evaluate what it was, I think Pre-First was just a nice way of telling middle-class suburb parents that we're not going to let your son go to first grade, so we're going to put him in Pre-First instead of making him do kindergarten again. Just make him do kindergarten again. What's the difference? And I'll tell you what the difference was. From kindergarten to Pre-First, there was only one Pre-First class. That was it. 32 students. Okay? There was only one, and, you know, we knew the alphabet, and we colored less, played more. I don't even fucking know, man. I genuinely think it was just like, man, these people will get mad at us if we tell them that we don't think their kid's ready for kindergarten. So let's just make up another fucking class. That's what I think happened. And to this day, I still know some of those people that were in my class for Pre-First. I texted with one of the guys actually the other day. I've known him since Pre-First. Isn't that fucking crazy? 2 people I know from Pre-First. My buddy Mikey. This kid Jason, he's Mark Cuban's assistant. So he was, at least last time I talked to him 4 years ago. And then this other girl, Ashley. 3 people I know, and I just know her through social media. But Pre-First, so what was I, 6? That's crazy. I've known those people for fucking 30 years. 30 fucking years, dude. So Pre-First, that's what it was. It was a program, and I think it was only in South Florida. I don't know if it was around the whole country, but it was just a way for schools to get away with saying that your son failed kindergarten. That's what it was, basically. Now that I think about it. Wow, mom. You fucking raised a stupid poop head face kid. I like to do a romantic story. I would like to do another romantic story. I'd like to hear about it. I'd like to tell you about it. You'll never know why someone ghosts you. Let's do this. Let's no, not yet. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. The coffee kicked in. Here's the deal. I guess I could still ride on the music if I'm talking about how I've now worked out 14 days in a row, meditated at least 17 days in a row, been learning the keyboard. And I don't know if that inspires you guys to do something, but I'll tell you what. There's been days, so like I said, the plan was I would wake up and I would write a little bit, free write, whether it's trying to write a joke or journaling, right? And then I would learn the keyboard for at least 15 minutes every day. And then I go work out every day, whether it's like a harder workout or a lighter workout, and then running. Whether it's a longer run or shorter run, it doesn't matter. It's happening every day, and not eating late. So that's been happening every day for now at least 14 days. Meditating's been a longer streak. Working out is 14 days. Running, it might be 15 days. And then piano and writing is 14 days. Some days I have to push and I barely get through the writing. The piano has been a little bit easier, but there's been a couple times where I've been playing the keyboard and I'm like, this is actually very frustrating. Like I'm having a hard time with it and it's not fun, but I still went through it. And then there's days like today I did not want to work out or run, but I still did it. And then the meditating, there are some times when there's some moments when I'm meditating and I'm like frustrated meditating. But then there's sometimes it goes smoothly. But I'll tell you what, in 2 weeks, I've noticed a fucking huge difference in everything. Like at the time I'm not, but then if I evaluate it, I'm like, oh wow, I could play with 2 hands now. Not fast, but I learned how to adjust my hands on a keyboard. 2 weeks ago, it was learning just how to use all your hands. I was like, I don't know. How am I going to use my thumb and pinky? Like, I'm not good with that, especially on my left hand. Not a problem anymore. It's crazy what fucking 15 minutes a day will do. Imagine if I put an hour into it. But I can't because I got video games and other things to do. But just that has changed drastically. Now, my body, not as drastic as I want it to be, but it's hard. I think it's a lot harder. Writing, I don't know what I'm gaining from writing because I've written for years. Not all the time, not consistently every day, but in my head or on stage. But right now I don't have stage, so let me just try to write. And then I'll write, and I'll just be writing about something and nothing's funny, and I get frustrated. I'm like, what's the point? But I tell myself, you're only going to grow from this, and you're only going to improve from this. And that's the same with the working out and the meditating. And the meditating, I've realized, I'm like, okay, I'm identifying things throughout the day, or I'll slow down. I want to slow down a little bit. Clearly not when I'm doing the podcast because the coffee kicked in. Okay? But I'm noticing myself when I have disagreements with people to kind of slow down and ask myself, well, why? Like asking the questions. If you find yourself disagreeing with someone, start asking questions. Slow it down. I think my energy's better. I feel like it's better. I feel like I'm more understanding. It's interesting. It's interesting too because I'm only 14 days in. Because what's going to happen when I'm 30 days in? Because the whole thing was like, let me do this for 30 days and see how different it is. But I want to do it for 100 days. I'll keep going. If I sat here, part of me was like, if I do this for 30 days, I'm going to be a different person and a better person. And maybe one of these 5 things that I'm doing will turn into a habit where I don't even think about doing it. I just naturally am doing it every day. Like naturally, I get out of bed and I make my bed every day. Okay? So that's a habit. I don't even think about it. When you get in your car, you put your seatbelt on first, or right away, you turn your car on, then you put your seatbelt. You don't know what you do. You're not thinking about it. You're not conscious about it. That's another thing about meditating, is being present in the moment of what you're doing. How that will slow things down. But if you literally, if you slow everything down and think about everything that you do throughout the day, there are so many habits that you are doing, whether they're good or bad, that you don't even notice. So if you literally just do something every day and you fucking push yourself to do it, you can turn those things into habit, especially if they're good things. It's hard, but if it was easy, then everybody would be able to be great. And not everybody can be great. I mean, everybody has the potential to be great, but some people don't have the mental toughness. But if I do this for 30 days and then I tell myself, let's keep going, when will it become where I'm just like, no, I got to do this every day? No, I want to do this. I want to do, like, I enjoy doing it. The writing part is fucking still not fun for me. Because sometimes it's only fun when I'm like, oh, I have an idea for a joke. The keyboard is becoming more fun, and the working out is becoming more fun because I see a little bit of improvement. But it is fucking interesting to like play with your brain. If you slow things down, you can really fucking play with your brain. It's just habits, man. Everything in the life is just habits. You're just doing habits. You're just creating new habits or continuing to do bad habits. Creating new habits is hard. But everything in your life, like when you were in college, you had a schedule every semester, and then you got locked into that habit, and then next semester some things would change because you had to. It was out of your control. You're like, well, I have to go to class, so then that means I'm going to work out at a different time. But then when you get into the real world and you have a job, you're like, well, I have to be at work at 9 and I can't leave till 5. So I'm going to eat at 7 every day. It's a lot harder. You get stuck with all those habits and your routine. But if you adjust your routine and you start working out in the morning instead of at night or different things, your body changes, your mentality changes. Everything changes. So that's what I'm learning in this moment. I can only get better from it. But there's times when I'm fucking pushing myself and I'm like, okay, the other day on Saturday, I went to a friend's house in Santa Monica, and I was like, it was his birthday. So I was like, oh, I'll go over there, have drinks, and we'll eat. I was like, oh, I'll be there around 2. I wasn't going to make it by 2. I made it by 4 because I didn't skip anything. And I wanted to, but I was like, don't skip anything. Do it. And then when I did it, I felt so much better. Something great will come from this. I don't know what yet. I don't know if I'm different on the podcast. I wouldn't know. You guys listen once a week. I'm doing it all the time. But I don't know what my mentality from quarantine week 1 was to now. I wonder if I was able to go back and if somebody later on, obviously if you're listening to the podcast, you've been listening to it consistently every week. But what if someone who doesn't even know me in a year binges the podcast and they start week 1 from quarantine week 1? The podcast was going on before, but it was just a different format. But if they started from the beginning and they got to right now would they see be like, oh my God, he's changed? I wonder. Like, that would be interesting to know. That would be pretty cool. So I don't know. I don't know if that helps you guys, but I think it's pretty cool. And you know what I mean? And part of me was just like, everybody will say like The Rock and Kevin Hart. It's just like, there's so much. It's so much. And even I've said that sometimes. But man, I was listening to Kevin Hart on fucking Rogan, and there's just something about him that like really resonated. But it's just like, why not? And it's like, and part of me was like, I took it from this. I was like, what's really been motivating me, and I told my friend this the other day, and he reversed it on me. He's like, well, why don't you do it like this? And I'll explain it. He was like, I was telling him, I was like, part of me, all of a sudden, what clicked was I wanted to, after my dog died, I wanted to be able to look back on life one day when I got older and say, man, after Wade died, I changed for the better. Like, it changed my life drastically. I want to be 55 years old and go, man, I remember when Wade died, I turned my life around. Not that my life was bad or I was doing anything bad, but I made it even better. Like, how fulfilling will that thought or that feeling be when I'm 55? And I'm just like, wow, I did it for him, which I did it for myself, but I used that traumatic experience and used it and spun it in a positive way, right? That's what essentially would be a great feeling. But also part of me was like, the other day, it was like a couple weeks ago, I was like, man, remember when I was 16 and sometimes I'd be sad or something like that, and I was just like, or was going through a heartbreak, or like I wanted to be funny and like, or someone put me down or didn't believe in me. Like, I was very spiteful. I was like, I'll show them. If fucking 15 or 16-year-old Michael met 35-year-old Michael today, his mind would be blown. He'd be like, wait, you did it? You went to LA? You did all this shit? And I'm like, yeah. But then he also might be like, whoa, you're so close. What if he was like, if you just did these exercises every day for 1 year, your life would change drastically. Like, you would be on top of the world. You would be the most successful comedian. Your podcast would be huge. You would be in the best shape of your life. You would be so happy. You would find love. You would have a happy family. You would own a house. If he told me that, 16-year-old told me that, like, he'd be like, you're so close and you're fucking up. You're fucking up because you're not giving up. You're not giving a little bit extra. How disappointing would that be? I thought about that. I thought about how 16-year-old me would have, if he would have known how close I was. He'd be like, he would be so mad that I didn't go extra. So that's why I said, let me go extra. Because I was content. I wasn't content. I wasn't content like I was happy living with roommates or living in this nice 3-bedroom place, but like living with people, but in a nice West Hollywood area. Like, that's cool. And I get to do stand-up and I'm traveling. I get to go. That was a fine life. But it's not good enough for what 16-year-old me was thinking about and dreaming about. He would have been like, wait a minute. That's great, but like, how come you're not doing more? And if he told me, all you have to do is just this little extra every day. Just do that extra every day for 100 days and your life will change drastically. If you said that and you were that close and you didn't know, that would be fucking awful. I would be so disappointed. So I was like, why not? I can do better. I could do more. And I told my friend that. I was like, I could do more if I'm like a 16-year-old. If I'm doing it for the 16-year-old me that would be disappointed if I didn't do more, because he saw how close I was to his goals and dreams. And he's like, well, do it for your 55-year-old. And I go, essentially, I guess I am. I want to be 55 and be like, man, it was that moment that I started doing more. I can do more, so let's do more. Does that make sense? Sometimes I feel like it's so cheesy to talk about that shit. You know what I mean? But it's crazy, dude. It's like, if I just do that, man, I really believe that. If I do this every day, I'm only 14 days in. I'm only fucking 14 days in of doing this, and I feel different. If I do this every day for fucking 100 days, 30 days is already going to be crazy. But if I do this every day for 100 days, how much will my life be different from what it would have not been if I didn't do this? I'll bet you a lot. And that's fucking crazy because it's not a lot of extra work that I'm doing. It's just creating better and positive habits. That's what's fucking mind-boggling. It's just like, why not? I don't know. I mean, I do know, but like, it's working. Dude, it's so crazy. And I know you hear this all the time. You hear it from everyone. You hear it from like these fucking motivational speakers, or you hear these stories, or you've seen pictures of people like a before and after of working out. But bro, here's what happens. We get so comfortable with what we're doing. It's not that we're content, but we're like, this is enough. I'm doing enough. I just need a little luck. That's kind of how we think a lot of us. My mom always says something like this. Hi, Mom. She'll always be like, because sometimes I'll be like, why would someone want to do that? Why would someone want to do this? And she goes, well, sometimes that's what makes them happy. I forget about that sometimes because I used to bash the American way. I would be like, Mom, all these fucking people, they're not happy. They went to college. They got a job. Next thing you know, they got married. They had kids. Here they are. They're 35. It's been 10 years later. They haven't even fucking been able to be present because they just go to work every day, come home, put the kids to bed. She'll be like, well, maybe that's what they want. Maybe that's what they made them happy. And I go, fuck, you're right. Maybe it is. We're both right. There's definitely people out there who live that life and they're like, holy shit, 10 years flew by. But then there's people who are just like, that brings them so much joy. Like one time I argued with my mom a couple of years ago. I was like, just stop buying me shit. And then she was like, well, that's what I want. That's what gives me fulfillment. I enjoy buying you something. I don't care if you're 40, if you're 35. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you're 55 and I'm 90. I want to buy you something because that's what fulfills my heart. How would I know? I've never had a kid. I've had a dog. But that's what's crazy. That changes your life. Part of me thinks I would be scared about that. I'd be scared to have a kid if I'm not somewhere where I'd want myself to be for my personal goals. Because then I know that nothing will matter besides that kid. Does that make sense? I know nothing will matter besides my family when I have one. That's why I don't want one yet, because I still want to chase this. So now it's time to turn on the fucking burners. So how do I get better? I can't do stand-up, but when I'm doing stand-up, I got to fucking do it every day. But I can make myself better. I can make my mind better. I can learn an instrument. I've told myself I want to do it for years. Why was I fucking waiting? Let's go. I can get in better. I can be in the best shape of my life when I'm 36 years old. I've never had a six-pack in my whole life. I don't know if I'm going to get a six-pack, but I'm going to fucking try. I know that when I turn 36, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life ever. That's what's fucking crazy. That doesn't seem possible. I'm going to be more in tune with myself if I keep writing and my emotions. I'm going to be more open. If I meditate every day, I'm going to fix some of my flaws. Let's bring up the intimacy issue thing. I did that episode a couple weeks ago where I said intimacy issues. A couple girls fucking talked to me about it. I missaid something, okay? I said, man, I'm always free on here, openly just talking. I don't edit the podcast. I'm just riffing. So, and I don't actually go back and listen to it either. I just put it out. Maybe sometimes I should listen to it, but I just want to fucking put the podcast out there. I don't want to think about it, and it's out there. I was just sharing my thoughts. This is unedited. It's not like I'm on stage. You come see me do fucking a routine. It's edited. It's fucking performed. It's polished. None of this shit is polished. So if I say something, it might come off a different way. I said, oh, I don't want to be dating a girl 3 months in and then think, oh, there's a better option. Yeah, that's a fucking red flag. I get it. And I think I think I was being honest, but I think is what I meant was just like, I don't want to emotionally be involved with someone and then scared that what if I become uninterested in them and then I hurt them. I think that's what I was trying to say. And then someone's like, well, why would I even want to be involved with someone who thinks that way? Which I agree. I don't know. I don't know how to fucking tackle that thing. I don't know how to tackle that issue. I just know that I don't look for a relationship, but if something happens, that's great. You know, they sweep you off your feet. That's awesome. There's no planning for it. You just got to live your life. And then if you grow with someone and you're both growing and you think that it's compatible, that's awesome. Coffee's getting cold. I think that I'll be moving soon. And part of the moving thing, it's funny because when you live with people, you feel like you have the obligation to kind of fucking tell them that you would be moving, because then it affects everyone, because then they got to move too or find someone else to move in. But I think everybody's going to move out. But before we had spoke about it, it's my own little secret from my roommates, which is hilarious. Because, like, I'm on Craigslist looking for a place, and my roommate walks in, and I close the fucking laptop like I was just looking at porn. What were you doing? Nothing, just looking at porn. Like, I'd rather get caught looking porn than be caught looking at Craigslist for fucking apartments, because I didn't want to deal with that conversation. Then there's also these fucking fake listings on Craigslist, which is so weird. You have, like, a fake listing. There'll be like a listing of a nice 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom place, all marble and granite and fucking all modern, for $1,000 in West Hollywood. If you know anything about fucking LA, no chance. But I'm so dumb, I fall for it. I email, I'm like, I would love to check out your place tomorrow. I don't know why, but it's not real. But why are there fake listings like they're fucking fake profiles on dating apps? What is the point of this? What fucking asshole is out there like, I'm going to get somebody's hopes up today? For what? And then you just get an email of someone saying, hey, can I check out your place? What are you, jerking off to a fucking someone emailing you? This person thinks it's real. I don't understand the fake listing thing. What the hell is the point? Why have fake listings? Let's fucking put up this marvelous looking place. Someone's going to email and think it's real. And then what? We're going to get their email address? Like, what the fuck? What kind of sicko gets off to fucking putting up fake listings on Craigslist for apartments? What the fuck? I was going to fucking... Man, I'm not going to be able to get to everything this week. I have a lot of notes. We went into a lot. That's why. We went into a lot, but I did... Man, that's going to have to wait. I have fucking so many things that I had written from the previous week that I wanted to get to. What a good episode, kind of, maybe, for me. I don't know. We'll see when it comes out. Guess you never know. Am I getting a little self-conscious about the first part of the podcast that I talked about? Yeah, because I don't know if what I was saying was making sense or resonating with anyone. You know what I mean? I wanted to... Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I guess I'll leave you with this. Back to ghosting. Couple ghosts this pandemic. But a friend of mine was telling me she was on a date with a guy. Let's play some music. She was on a date with a guy, and she said she wasn't feeling it. 2 hours in to a date. Now, it was a date where she might have been stuck with the guy for 4 or 5 hours, okay? Doesn't matter the situation, but imagine you're going on a date and it's not at a restaurant or a bar where you could just get out of it. You're going to be stuck with a person for 4 or 5 hours. Let's make it up. The date's at the beach or Disney World. Someone's like, hey, let's go to Disney World for the day. If you were to do that, I would never do that on a first date. But if you, let's say you were a guy or girl and someone's like, hey, let's go to Disney World, that's a 5-hour date at the very least. So you're stuck with them. So she's with this person, and like 2 hours in, she doesn't feel like there's a point, which power to her, right? Because then he maybe picks up on it, and then she says, I don't know, I just don't feel like, I don't feel a connection with you, and I don't think we should continue to do this because it just doesn't feel right, but I think you're a great guy, and, you know, we could be friends, and that's that. And she said he got mad. He goes, oh, Okay, fine. All right, fine. And he kind of gave a hissy fit, which is a ridiculous way to act on the first date. You know, you're already being a little frustrated and bitch about it. Okay? So he goes to the car, he leaves, but it was like really like annoying the way he acted. Comes back, pulls back in, which is probably scary for a girl. And she's like, okay, what the fuck? Why is he coming back? Oh, and before that, he texts, really? Are you fucking, like, really? Unbelievable. Something like that. Then he comes back and he goes, I need to talk to you. She goes outside. And she's like, what's going on? He's like, I need to know why. What was it? Why did it? She goes, I just didn't feel a connection. He's like, that's not good enough for me. Imagine saying this on a first date with someone. Imagine, I need to know why. That's not good enough for me. Bro, there's red flags already. You don't even know this person. Imagine if you were sleeping with this person. If you're getting this emotional over hanging out with someone for 2 hours. Bro, drop your ego. Drop your fucking ego. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to like you, and that's just how it is. The reason I brought this up was ghosting is like, there was another girl, we would talk, we had never met, we had never hung out, we had never hooked up. And we would like talk, we'd FaceTime with each other sometimes. She would even like show me some like sexy shit on the phone. It was fine. Then, bam, nothing. Nothing. Part of me wants to know why, yeah, but like also there's so many things that could have went on. That's what's funny. Part of it could be maybe it's just a girl who wants me to talk about her on the podcast. I don't know. But you'll never actually really know. Someone could be in between dating with someone. They could be like going through a breakup, or I don't know. You'll just never fucking know. But needing to know is ridiculous. It's kind of fun to get ghosted because you get to fucking create up your own narrative. You're never going to fucking know. But I do. There's times like the last time I was ghosted, it wasn't ghosted. It was just like it faded out. I kind of want to know why. It wasn't like we hooked up. And everybody has these stories. You'll just really never know. And you can't take it personal. But imagine if I called her and was like, hey, I need to talk to you. I want to know why. What happened? Because we were just texting and stuff. So why all of a sudden? Oh, that's the love game, guys. That's the love game. That's the love game. All right, here's what we're gonna do next week. I promise I'll write it down. We got some. I got a good pyramid scheme. Pyramid schemes. You guys into pyramid schemes? We got some pyramid schemes going on. Okay, and we'll talk about some pandemic. No, you know what? We could do pandemic fights today. I could leave you guys with pandemic fights right now. Pandemic fights are hilarious. This is how you know you've been spending too much time with someone. Normal fights, I don't know, whatever they are. All fights in general, whether you're in a relationship or not, or with your roommate, it's always about something bigger. Could we agree? If I fight with my roommates, it's not really about them. It's about me being mad at myself for having roommates. Isn't that really what it's about? It's mad because I don't want to live like that. That's what it's about. Isn't that true? It's because I fucking don't want to have roommates. So now if I'm getting in a fight with a roommate or bitching about some shit, that's because I'm mad at myself. Isn't that true? In a relationship, if you guys are bickering about some bullshit, is it really about that bullshit you're bickering about? Or is it about something that you didn't communicate with that person because you didn't want to? Because maybe you didn't feel comfortable enough to communicate that with them. Or you felt self-conscious about that. Or you felt that it would cause bigger issues or could destroy the relationship. Which is even worse in your eyes, but maybe not. Maybe it's not meant to be. Sometimes we can't let go of things that we really like, but they might not be healthy for us, right? There's a lot of situations like that. So think about that when you're having these pandemic fights. Dude, we got in a fight over the way I got mad at my roommate for the way he placed the dish in the dishwasher. That's fucking ludicrous. What's ludicrous? Putting the dish the wrong way. Everybody knows it goes from the left to the right. No, but like that's something I wouldn't even recognize before meditation. Those like ridiculous fights you have. There's got to be some interesting pandemic fights that you guys have, and I want to hear about them. You got to have some great pandemic fights. That would be great for the podcast that I think you guys could share. Think about it. I mean, dude, I would yell at my roommate for fucking leaving the light on. What's that about? Is that really that he's leaving the light on? I don't know. You guys have seen it. I would put it on the fucking podcast. God, man, it's so funny to fucking get in a fight. It's so funny to fight with your roommates, especially in your 30s. Because you know at the end of the day, it's not even a fucking about what you're fighting about. Oh, you didn't like that decoration I had on the wall? All right, then I'll take it down. That's what I did. We had a fight. I was playing the keyboard too loud. It's for 15 minutes. Okay, I'll move it in my room. Okay. Anything else I'm not doing right? He's like, you lived with a bunch of these things that you put on the wall, the decorations or whatever. I never complained about it. I just let you do your thing. I go, you don't like them? No. Tell me which ones. I'll take them down. I took them all down. I'm different. I'm calmer. I've moved on. Let's not have our pandemic fights anymore. Man, I swear to God I had more about the pandemic fights. All right, our last. You know what? Let's have a segment. Our last thought. Is that what it should be called? Leaving on this. Leaving on this? No. You remember 60 Minutes with the old guy with the fucking eyebrows, and he'd be like, "Before we go, let's think about this," and he would have like this little 3-minute speech, or maybe it was a minute speech, because he would just be like, "Let's think about this. Today, people are da 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 da." Do you guys remember that? 60 Minutes would always come on like Sunday night after fucking Sunday Night Football, and he would like be talking, and he'd be like, "Here's what's going on. We're all at home. We love each other. Our kids go to school. We work. But what are the real issues that are going on in our home? Is it about our kids? Is it about our marriage? Or is it about we don't feel like life is fair?" I don't know, some shit like that. My final thoughts. It would be something like that. Either way, that's what I'll do. I'll try to create that one for the podcast. Like every week I go, my final thoughts. Today we'll talk about oatmeal. Oatmeal is tricky. It really is. I've never gotten the oatmeal right. The packets are fine. If you do the packets, it's fine. But the problem is you never get the fucking cup. When you're eating oatmeal, nobody's measuring a cup of water. They're just fucking putting it under the faucet and then going, yeah, that looks good. Nobody who's measuring a cup of oatmeal. And then if you don't have the packets and you have one of those big containers and you pour it in your bowl, you're like, I think that looks like enough. It never looks like it's enough. That's the thing about oatmeal. That's why it's tricky. You never know if it's enough. You put a little in and you're like, that doesn't look like enough, but it is enough. Because if you fucking mix it with the water, it's going to be fine. But then if you put too much water, then it's too milky, and then you got to add more after it's already been microwaved. Oatmeal is a fucking hard time. That's the point. And I know some of you guys are like, why are you eating oatmeal? And I'm like, it's a pandemic. And it's a simple meal in the morning to start your day off. It's healthy, and you get it out of the way, and you're not hungry for a while after that. So that's why I'm messing with oatmeal right now. And then you can put a little jelly in it. You can put a little peanut butter in it. You'd switch it up. You could do whatever you want. But I'm never getting it right, and I always am making a little bit too much. And that's annoying. And it's been like that for a long time because I've made oatmeal since I was a kid. I would eat oatmeal. Let's not discriminate. Let's not discriminate against oatmeal. He's always been there for us, and he's been consistent. So don't forget about him. Don't feel ashamed for eating him, because in the day, in the morning, especially for some of you who don't want to wake up extra early, oatmeal is very quick, and it gets it out of the way, and it keeps you from not being hungry for a long time. You wake up, you have a glass of orange juice and some oatmeal, you're good for 3 hours. You're good. Not a lot of calories, but it is tricky. Nobody's using a fucking measuring cup with oatmeal. You're eyeing it. You're always eyeing it. And that's the way it should be. We should eye it. But that's why it's tricky, man. Nobody's 100% from the free throw line. There's some people who are 90% with oatmeal. There's some people who are 80% with oatmeal. But the most of us, we're about 70% from oatmeal. It's really hard. So that's my final thought, oatmeal. Guys, please leave a 5-star review. I want more of them. I want all of them. I want all of the 5-star reviews. If you get the 5-star reviews, then we all fucking become bigger. Everything gets better for everyone if we get 5-star reviews. Okay? Leave a review if you want, but the 5-star reviews help. Share it. Subscribe on YouTube to my YouTube channel if you want. Watch it. Also, check out the Patreon. Go to the patreon.com/thetakeover. Help out your fellow comedian. I don't know. If you're a fucking fan or some shit, whatever. Just do your job. I do my fucking job. I show up every week. I fucking put out a podcast sometimes twice a week. And I fucking put out Patreon episodes. And I'm in my room doing a podcast. I fucking bought a ring light. Like, I'm doing my part. Just fucking do your part. Do your part. I try to bring different South Florida hats every episode. Did you notice that? Okay. So, next week we'll do pyramid schemes. Unless there's so much shit that goes on. That's what happens is I'll fucking write down my notes and more shit will fucking pile up. And I'm like, well, I got to talk about this. I got to talk about this. And there's no particular order. But then I'm going to go with what's more fresh on my mind. So then I forget. And like I kind of forgot with like the pandemic fights. I know there was more there, but I forgot. But maybe I'll remember and bring it up again next week. But either way, thank you guys for your support. Check it out. And I just got really hungry. But I'll see you guys next week. Bye.